see them. They're watching. They're waiting. They infiltrate and impersonate. And here they come, here they come. Shh. Here they come, here they come. Shh.
Aliens have infiltrated Homo sapiens. At this very moment, you could be facing them. You might not even know it until the conversation ends. Aliens.
What up, Jabooshes?
Aliens have infiltrated Homo sapiens. Swear to God, man, a couple of my friends, we see the lights. We see them hovering. Aliens have infiltrated Homo sapiens. You think I'm crazy? I ain't making this up. Go ask Nico Fuzz. He'll tell you what's up. Aliens have infiltrated Homo sapiens. At this very minute, you could be dealing with an alien disguised as a Homo sapien. Yo, check this. Me and the crew have been observing the phenomena late night.
What up? What up, Beesh? What up, Booshes? We're gonna get ready for this cute and swole.
What's it gonna be? Alien insurgency?
All right, so yeah, let's get everyone in here because I gotta make sure I get up and I gotta find the questions. I gotta make sure everything's plugged in. I'm charged up because can't be losing charge on the phone. Can't be losing charge.
Examinations with no lubrication. This is deep obfuscation. It's a serious deleterious situation.
Cause aliens.
Infiltrated Homo sapiens.
Aliens.
You could be facing them. You might not even know it until the conversation ends.
Aliens. What up? What up? What up?
Swear to God, man, a couple of my friends. We see the lights. We see them hovering.
Internets. Okay. Make sure I got that all lined up. Just making sure I got the questions. So what we're gonna do today, obviously Q&A. You can ask questions live. Priority goes to those that ask questions in the comments. So I'll do my best to answer everyone. I got comments on the Facebook post, on the Instagram post. So I'm gonna bang through the Instagram and then we'll see what's up on Facebook. But definitely drop your questions. Sometimes catch me in between. I'll try to answer as much as I can. If the questions are really stupid, I'll ignore them because I can. Pour some more coffee first. All right. Who's ready? Who's ready? Float some gorillas and some biceps. You ready for episode 908-ish? Papa Swole.
You're so close to 1,000.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Aliens have infiltrated Homo sapiens. At this very moment, you could be facing them. You might not even know it until the conversation scan. Aliens.
Sick fucking games.
Swear to God, man, a couple of my friends, we see the lights. We see them hovering. Aliens have infiltrated.
Crushing glute activation halfway through. Swole X legs. Haha, kill switch. Kill switch for Daddy Gains. I love it. I love it.
Intrepid interstellar space beings. Everywhere, eyes all seeing. Notice what I'm saying again.
Papa Solio. Sick of fucking gains. Here we go, fam. Let's do it. Let's do it. 982. Let me see. I got this question up. Here we go. Sunday Funday Q&A. Beaches. Coffee.
The sun is shining. The birds are chirping.
The bacon is sizzling.
Welcome to the Daily Motherfucking Swole. Aha. Testing. Is this mic on? Testing. Testing. Welcome everyone to episode 908-ish of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, slaycast, and taintcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What is going on, you fucking hoes? What up, beaches? It's Papa Swolio. It's Daddy Swole in the house en la casa. I am here. The beard is large and in charge. I'm ready to fuck your ear holes, eye holes, and maybe even your face holes. No, I probably won't do that, but I will be speaking towards you and giving you answers to all the questions that you asked. You dropped a lot of questions on these things, so we're going to jump right into it. Remember, you can subscribe to the podcast. You can go to swolenormousx.com. A lot of people are asking about the yoga classes and if I have yoga programs and stuff like that. That means you don't click on anything that I post. That means you don't click on my profile. You don't look, you don't click those links. You don't like daddy. You don't want to click what I put out there. Just go to swolenormousx.com. I have all the entire yoga studio, full programs, everything in the Swolenormous X membership platform. But you can also go there for the Gain Train blog, workouts, and articles. You can also go there to subscribe to the podcast. You can go there and say hello in the live chat and be like, what up, Papa Swole? That's cool. So you can go there for everything. Anyway, we're live. Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch, everything. I did a little yoga flow this morning. I did a IG story. I did a little, hey, what's up, guys? We're going to be doing on the porch. And I did a little wake up. Took a cold shower, so I'm kind of ready to go. And I've been filming a lot of yoga stuff. I've been filming a lot of yoga stuff lately because that's a priority for this year. You know, I don't do resolutions, but that's just been the focus shift for the current state of the Swole, that I'm only, I shouldn't say I'm only, but I'm focusing on mobility and yoga, even prioritizing it over my strength training. So if I have a choice and I need to either do one or the other, I'm prioritizing making sure that I'm doing my yoga. And another way for me to reinforce the fact that I want to do that and that's a priority is for me to film it. So I'm filming a ton of Swolga classes for Swolenormous X. I just have to edit them. And yes, for those that are on the outside, Swolga is Swole Yoga. That's yoga that Papa Swolio teaches. Those are my classes. My classes are the Swolga classes. But if you are looking to get started with yoga, literally the best place to start, all levels, classes for all levels, in Swolenormous X. You have the entire yoga studio, or you can just Google something, go on YouTube, just start doing something. So this is not just a plug for Swolenormous X and how fucking amazing it is. This is just literally me showing you how much yoga has transformed my life, how much it transforms other people's lives. And I'm not just talking about fat loss and getting abs and I want to look better. Literally, you will shape your muscles better. Literally, you will open up strength that you never knew you had. Literally, you will improve your form. So it'll help you with your performance. It'll help you with your strength. It'll help you with your recovery. But even more important than that, it will help you with your life. You will feel better. Have you ever wanted to reduce your pain? I'm telling you, it will reduce your pain. All these injuries that are nagging you from football and high school and college and fucking every kind of contact sport you've ever done, injuries, ankle sprains, all these back pains from sitting down too much. It is fire. It is fire. Yoga is the absolute tits. So in Swolenormous X, we have it organized. We have level 1 classes, beginner classes, level 2, level 3 classes are coming. Got a couple on the hook. Lots of block classes and strap classes and little fucking props and shit. We have yin classes, gravity classes that you just literally can get really deep into the fascial connective tissue. It's great for improving range of motion, mobility, and real inhibition. If you're into the foam rolling game, if you have any kind of discomfort and you're not moving properly, yoga is literally where you gotta jump in. You gotta jump in. Everyone wants to know about what exercise to do. What's the best exercise to do? What should I do for this? What should I do for that? Yeah, that's great, but it doesn't supersede yoga. You have to do yoga. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what your goal is. I don't care what your goal is. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're trying to gain, lose. It doesn't matter if you're 15 years old or you're 55 years old. You should be doing yoga. So that being said, let's just jump into today's Q&A. If you have questions, I highly encourage you drop them below. I would love to answer as many questions as possible. As you can imagine, I only have the ability to answer so many, at least in a period of time. Like I have to go through a lot of questions. So drop them in the comments. And I do have the ability to scroll now. I should have no problem scrolling to view your questions if I miss them. But I'm going through those posts. That's why I've been talking about, I got itch. That's why I've been talking about the posts on Instagram and Facebook that say, hey, for Q&A, this blah, 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 go post your question in the comments. And that's where I'm going to go into it. So yeah, while we get started, if yoga has changed your life, whether or not if you're in Swolenormous X, please drop in the comments. Let everyone know how awesome Swolenormous X is. But yoga, period. If yoga has changed your life, if you practice yoga, I want you to drop it in the comments right now and just give some props for yoga. Give some props for yoga, and hopefully You know, literally when I rant and I talk so much about yoga, I don't really consider it a rant because it's so fucking awesome. But if I can just convince one person to do it, it's great. And I know a lot of people have found my content and got into yoga since that. And it's transformative, legit. Absolutely legit. Game changer. So drop in the comments below what yoga you do. And maybe we will change some hearts and minds today while we're answering some questions. Got my coffee? Ah. How often should you practice yoga? I'll answer that question first. Yoga can be done every day. Now, there's different types of yoga. Just like I wouldn't recommend lifting heavy every day, I wouldn't go say, hey, do power yoga 7 days a week. It needs to complement your training, okay? I don't think anyone should just do yoga and not lift. I don't think anyone should lift and not do yoga. If you have to pick one, I would definitely get into yoga. Is so great for beginners too. It's so great if you've never trained before, you've never lifted a lot of weights. You should start getting your body physically ready by doing yoga. Do entry-level beginner yoga flows. You could do yoga every day. It depends on how long you do it. Like if you're doing 3 hours of yoga or just like a 15-minute yoga flow, the intensity of what you're trying to do, as long as you practice and you're not pushing your body past any kind of limitations that you're not comfortable with, you can do it every day. You can do it every day. But at the beginning, before you have that adaptation built up where your body is used to doing yoga, you're using a lot of muscles you've never used before. So when you start, I wouldn't necessarily recommend, unless you're doing a very beginner class, I wouldn't recommend doing it every day just because you're kind of opening Pandora's box. You're working a lot of tiny stabilizers. You're rotating and you might never have done any kind of rotation before. So all of a sudden when I started doing yoga, I had a tweak in my back because you start moving in ways you've never moved before. So as much as it's a restorative and it's a benefit and it's really great for your body, it's also brand new. So you don't want to jump in too hard. You got to ease into this kind of stuff. So do it every other day, do it light, and then as you feel like you can do more, you do more. There's always a risk with anything, but yoga's amazing. Yin yoga, yeah, yin's amazing. How much money for your yoga? Well, everything's part of Swolenormous X. It's one big system. So I recommend, Julia, go to my website, go to swolenormousx.com, and it literally walks you through and explains everything that's included and all the pricing. Special offers right now because of the new year. So make sure you jump on that. But yeah, you can always message me if you have any questions. Would it be better to pre-workout or post-workout yoga? Personally, I would do it after, but it depends on what your schedule is and your training and your experience. Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's get into the questions. Mass C5, this is on Instagram first. What is your favorite lift or movement? I don't have one. And that's why I have great results, because I don't pick favorites, because then I don't focus on any one thing more than another. I don't really have anything favorite. I don't. I love training everything. So in my opinion, if you have to pick a favorite, make the thing you like to train the least your favorite. And then you'll do it more, and then it'll be a strong point, not a weak point. Ant Pugliese, what are your thoughts on Ezekiel bread and whole grains like flour or quinoa? I don't think you should be consuming. Personally, I'll just talk from personal experience and what I do from elimination and just from common sense, evolution. This is my opinion. This is what I find works for my body. I don't consume quinoa or that. I don't consume grains. I don't. No gluten whatsoever. I don't care if it's organic. I don't care if it's sprouted. That's just not something that I want to put in my body. So you can take that as a word. There's some great literature and great books and stuff out there. If you want a great reading resource, you can read the book Grain Brain. That's a great resource on the impact of grains on brain function, Alzheimer's, diabetes, everything like that. So if you're interested, I'm not just making this shit up. That's just one resource that pops into my head. You can check out that book. It's a good one. Joseph James 14, when was the last time you sustained an injury while lifting? I don't know, last year, tweaked my hamstring a little bit doing lunges. I didn't warm up properly, I think. What is one food item that most people might consider, quote, obscure that you would recommend adding into the rotation? Organ meats. I mean, I don't think it's obscure, but I think a lot of people are like, ew, organ meats, liver. 100% grass-fed beef liver, beef heart. I have beef heart in my meat and stuff like that. It's delicious. It's delicious. It's great. It's great for you. Tons of nutrients. So I recommend that. I don't know if it's really obscure, but I think it's not really mainstream anymore. It should be. If you're a hunter, it's not mainstream. I mean, it's not out there. If you hunt, you consume all those things. Usually. Miss Waffles 11. I am just now returning to good fats after 3 years. 3 years after gallbladder removal. I'm working with a nutritionist, but it turns out I hate hummus now. Any suggestions for snack alternatives? If you're eating the right food, if you're eating healthy fats and tons that you probably don't need snacks. I really don't believe in snacks, honestly. Sometimes I'll grab some olives. I don't really snack. I eat food. I eat my meal and then I move on. If you eat a diet that's high in quality fats, you usually don't have those cravings. You don't have those insulin crashes where I need a snack. You just eat your meals and then you move on with your day. So anytime someone says snack or what are some good snack alternatives, in my brain, what pops into my brain first is that you don't have your nutrition on point. You're not eating enough quality. You're not getting enough fats. You're not getting enough nutrients, which is why you have these cravings. So there's something else going on there. Anytime someone says snack, I think it just comes from this whole idea that we're supposed to have meals and snacks and small meals throughout the day. But obviously, the body can do fasting. The body can go hours or days without eating, and it's good to go through these processes. But I don't think snacks are really a necessary thing if you're getting proper nutrition. So that's just what pops into my head first. Long question. I'll try to summarize it quickly. Is building strength more crucial to hypertrophy or building the amount of tension? This is just way too long of a question. So strength is very important for muscle size. They're not necessarily dependent on one another, but it's important to build strength because strength is a component of hypertrophy, and muscle size and strength are related. But obviously you've seen people that are smaller than someone else, but they have more absolute strength. So strength is a different type of adaptation where you get synchronization of motor units and motor firing. It's pretty much intramuscular coordination and intermuscular coordination, kind of like riding a bike, because you're trying to synchronize all the muscles for powerful movement at one time, like for maximal internal tension to move, let's say, a max repetition. Whereas hypertrophy is a different type of exposure to stress and adaptation that will create this volumizing effect and increase the cross-sectional area of the muscle. So obviously, if you build muscle, you will generally get stronger, but that's why you'll see people that do strength training specifically for sports or for competitions, and they have a different physique. They might not be as big as a pro bodybuilder, but they could be stronger. And that's just because of the adaptations, and slightly different for strength and hypertrophy. But they cross over like a Venn diagram. They overlap. You definitely want to focus, especially as a natural lifter, you want to focus on strength too. Mary Potter McAdam, how to overcome spouse not being supportive. We can get this conversation going in the comments. So if you are listening to these questions, what's really excellent and powerful is if you answer them too. So this question, I definitely want everyone else's opinion to offer Mary, because this is something that's going to be a sticking point for a lot of you. But some of you have gone through this and have hacked this already. Hold on. Coffee burp. Here we go. Mary, how to overcome spouse not being supportive, sabotaging diet, etc. In general, others trying to make you feel selfish for taking time to improve yourself. Possibly not your field, telling them to get bent isn't working. Well, it's not my field, but it absolutely is my field. It's everyone's field. This is life. People are going to be negative. People are going to resist. People are going to try to bring you down to their level. So that's not necessarily a field. It's just people being dicks and people not being happy with their own lives and trying to project that onto you. And you just have to ignore that shit. Telling them to get bent isn't working. Well, tell them to fuck off. If you tell them to get bent, it might not be working. Tell them to get the fuck out of your face. So how is your spouse sabotaging your diet? First off, no one is feeding you but you. If your spouse is tying you down to a chair and feeding you, that's called abuse, aka kidnapping. You definitely should call the police. But if they're sabotaging your diet, like they're buying foods, you still have to eat those foods. So let them fuck themselves up. Okay. One of the issues with having someone in your life is that when you find fitness and you find this like passion for training and for health, that's where a lot of times relationships diverge, because you have your significant other that just doesn't want to be a part of it. And this is why people sometimes split up and sometimes people move on and aren't happy the way they are. You have to lead by example. You have to lead by example. You have to do your thing. A lot of times when you lead by example, people want to be healthier. If you push someone or you encourage them or you try to get them to do it, everyone's going to resist. It's like trying to convert someone's religion. It's like trying to get someone to stop being a vegan and eat meat. And like, no, they're not going to have an open mind to it. Rather, they're going to close off and defend their position because people hate to be wrong. People hate to, I guess, people don't like to be pushed around. People don't want to feel like it's not their idea. It's like Inception. It has to be their own idea. So if you do your thing and let's say you're feeling better, you're all excited, you're going to the gym, you're not spending time doing bullshit anymore because you're doing yoga, you're not watching Netflix because you'd rather go and stretch in the other room, you're going to lead by example and invite them. Leave the door open. Don't be rude and be like, fine, I'm going to go in here and slam the door and do yoga by yourself. Invite them. Ask them to come. Like, hey, you want to go? I'm going to... Just invite them, cook good, healthy meals and, eat them and leave, just bring them in. I guess that's right. That's what I would say is just lead by example. You're always going to have these people. You're always going to have these people in your life, but it's tough when they're in your circle because if they're friends, they're not your friends anymore. Cut them off. But when they're in your house, that could be a challenge. I just don't know what the sabotage is because that almost sounds like an excuse. If someone's trying to sabotage your diet, then they don't sabotage it. You just don't eat those things. It doesn't sabotage your diet unless you put it in your mouth, right? If you eat it, then you're sabotaging yourself. They're not sabotaging you. There's fast food everywhere. You don't have to eat it, Okay. Scott, 3196 on the iJizzle. We all know the physical benefits of training and eating healthy, but what are the mental benefits? The same thing. It's amazing. I don't know the actual chemical releases, but it's fantastic. Has any studies been done of the benefit of regular training? Absolutely. I just don't have them on hand. I know I always feel good even if I didn't want to go. 100,000%. Yeah, fitness is amazing. The body and mind are not different, okay? We have to stop separating the body and the mind. The mind is not some like foofy out there thing like, oh, the mind is different. The mind is the body. We don't have any nerve receptors. We can't feel pain in the brain, okay? That's why it's so important to look to the gut and understand what we're eating directly impacts our brain and our mental health and the actual tissue. We just don't feel swelling in our brain. We don't feel the pain when something is poisoning our brain. So it's really important to fix our gut biome and fix our gut-brain axis and take care of our body physically with nutrition and physically with training. But yeah, 1,000% fitness is great for your brain. Kelly 4RN, boxers or briefs? Neither. Papa Swole goes commando on the daily, motherfucker. Or I wear shorts that have the little sack container in there because it's just convenient. I hate underwear. Fuck that shit. He says, just kidding. I wasn't kidding. I wanted to get my name mentioned. I'm actually interested in your answer for someone else's question. Cool. So I answered already. J101, maybe my imagination, but it always seems I have an increase in weight right before a decrease. Is this an example of the Woosh Effect? Thanks. The fuck is the Woosh Effect? Is that something where like it goes up and down? Is that an example? I don't know. You have an increase in weight gain right before a decrease. It's probably because things are always worse before they get better. So, if you're lifting weights and eating better and you're trying to lose weight, you might get a little inflammation, swelling. Your body might retain a little water for a couple days until all of a sudden you shift gears. It could be the Woosh Effect. I don't know the definition of that. It's the first time I heard that one, but who cares? Maybe it's your imagination or not, but it doesn't matter. If it's your imagination, then you're not measuring it. It seems you have an increase in weight right before a decrease. Do you? Or are you just thinking about things? So right there, it just shows me that you don't even know. You're just speaking about things. You think. It may be it is your imagination, because unless you're actually measuring it, you have no idea what's actually going on. So don't worry about it. Just fucking be healthy and do it right. You'll be the weight that you're meant to be. You're good. Jason19, I understand that eliminating processed foods and chemicals will help prevent us from getting diseases later in life. Wondering what your thoughts are if someone starts the elimination process after they already have health issues such as heart disease, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, diabetes. Do you think it's possible to reverse these types of health issues? Make them better? Possibly. Reverse them? I don't know. Usually when you have that at that point, the damage has been done. I believe we talked about this yesterday. You can always lift weights and improve. You can always improve your health with nutrition. However, once you have the full-blown disease, you're going to have other limitations. So elimination, you're going to have to go by your doctor's recommendations at that point, because I'm not a medical doctor. Legally, I can't say, yeah, well, if you have heart disease, you can do an elimination. Maybe restricting certain nutrients at that point will actually be worse. So once you have heart disease, yeah, you can improve it in my opinion, but you already have that problem. My point here is, I don't know if everyone here I'm sure the majority of you do not have a major disease yet, or you're on the cusp of it. So fucking make those changes now so it never happens in the first place. But I think there's a lot of stuff that can be fixed and amended and maybe even quote unquote reversed. But that's a strong word. That's like, hey, can you fix all these issues? Well, I think you can fix them before they even fucking happen. I think that's what's much more important. W. Gordon 0515. How much cardio in any given week do you do? I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not sure of what this cardio you speak of. I do warm up. I do my step mill warm up, and I do my yoga flows and my yoga practice. I don't do, let's say, dedicated cardio workouts. If anything, I would do hill sprints or interval sprinting, but I don't do a lot of extra cardio because I get a ton in my actual training. Gibham, I know you don't track numbers, but you say keep carbs low. How low is low? I'm still 19% body fat. How many tasty sweet potatoes should I limit myself daily? You want to keep net carbs low. I never said you want to keep carbs low. I say you want to keep net carbohydrates low. And if I say keep carbs low, I just mean generally speaking, but I'm talking about net carbs, also known as impact carbs. So what you want to do is take your total number of carbohydrates consumed and subtract fiber, and that's the resulting number is your net carbohydrate or your impact carbohydrate total, which is the amount of carbs that will impact your blood sugar. That's another reason why when I eat sweet potatoes, you cook them, but then you let them cool down. You put them in the fridge, let them cool down to room temperature, and the starch in the sweet potatoes will become more resistant and have less of an impact on your blood sugar. So I love sweet potatoes. I don't pound like 6 a fucking day. I don't know if anyone thinks I eat like 10 a day. I might have 1 or 2 depending at my mealtime, but I love them. I like them. I feel good with them as much as I try to limit my net carbohydrates. There's good fiber in them. I cool down my sweet potatoes so the starch is more resistant. I eat tons of fiber when I eat my vegetables, and fiber are carbohydrates. So vegetables are carbs, but they're fibrous carbs. So they don't have impact. They're not going to, broccoli doesn't raise your blood sugar in that sense. So that's important. Miss Bell 29, what equipment do you prefer to have when doing yoga? You don't need any. A mat and a towel that helps me not slip. What is your favorite meal to prepare and why? The food I like to eat. I don't have a favorite meal. I have the food that's best for my body. I eat my grass-fed beef, pastured eggs, salads, kale, fucking vegetables, olive oil, avocados, all the things I talk about normally on my podcast. So I don't have a favorite meal to prepare. I have the favorite foods I like to eat, and I eat them whenever I want at liberty. Tacos de Trisha. When you've experienced failure in your life, whether in work, relationships, whatever, what did you do to keep moving forward? Or is it as simple as just keep moving forward? You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. I mean, failure in life or work or relationships or whatever it is, like life is moving on whether you like it or not. You can stay behind and wallow in misery and pity, or you just go and move on. You know, no one, the world, the earth, people, no one gives a shit about your problems. There's 7 billion people. You know, it's okay to have some close friends, but everyone's got their own shit. Everyone's got their own problems. So if you're not picking yourself up and moving yourself along, then you're fucked no matter what. And time, earth, the world is not waiting for you. So you can sit and fucking wait in the back of the bus, or you can take action and take control of your situation. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect or I've done everything wonderfully or correctly, or I don't have low moods and I don't get bummed out about certain things, but I always try to remember, and I slap myself in the fucking taint and I move on with my life. What about tobacco? Tobacco's fucking shit. Copenhagen, what, dip? Fuck that stuff. I think there are some like neural benefits to nicotine, but I wouldn't be fucking with that stuff. Gum disease, not a fan. I do like my cigars now and again, but I certainly don't dip. Usually when people dip, it's like a regular thing. Let's see. Fit Etta 87. What recommendations do you have for hypothyroidism and hormone imbalances? Training style and best food choices, already eating hormone-free and no dairy. Eliminating gluten, eliminating wheat, gluten, all those things. Make sure you're really doing a lot of research on fixing your toxic environment. Everything from lotions, shampoos, fragrances, your bedding, what's your mattress made out of, all these different things that can absolutely impact your hormones and fuck up your thyroid. All these endocrine disruptors. So just do a ton of research on on endocrine disruptors because it's everywhere. It's everywhere in our environment. We always think, even just getting people to understand that, oh, eating food and certain foods can fuck up your hormones. Yeah, that's one part of it. But the colognes, these fucking body sprays, the pans and stuff that you use to cook, the shampoos and everything that has all these chemicals, and your toothpaste and all this shit, mouthwash, all these things get in your fucking body. And you're covering your skin with like these neural inhibiting and these endocrine disrupting fucking toxins. Yeah, it's going to fuck up your hormones, especially since you've been doing it for 40 years. So it's coming out more and more how much these things fuck ourselves up. But you can find alternatives. So you're going to have to Google the shit out of that, but that's where I would recommend going. Dan Dumo, how to approach shifting your mindset from almost a whole life of trying to get lean, lose weight, to finally being in a place where you are, quote, lean enough and it's time to put on mass. How to approach shifting your mindset? Oh, like you're afraid psychologically of getting fat? Okay. I mean, you're lean enough and you're time to put on mass. Any help? I don't know. You do it. You do it. Like, is that what you want? You're ready to put on mass? Then fucking start putting on mass and lifting, and you have to increase your calories. You're going to have to make sure that you're eating the right foods. You're not overdoing it with eating junk or excessively eating calories. Do it slowly. Do like maybe 200, 300, 400, 500 calories a day excess in terms of your bulking. But shifting your mindset, if that's what you want, then you wouldn't be asking me this question. So do you really want to put on mass? Or are you trying to do it because you think that's what you should do? So if that's something that you want, you wouldn't be asking. How do you shift the mindset? You would have fucking done it already. So maybe you're not doing it for you. Bosco and Mushrooms, 49-year-old. What up? I am doing all I can to get rid of the belly fat. I'm down 35 pounds in 6 months. Fantastic. I ate real food. Blah, 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 blah. Long question. I'm trying to wrap this up. I do yoga. What's your question? Besides continuing to do what I have done, is there anything else I could do to move this belly fat that just won't go, or should I just be patient? It sounds like you've been losing a lot of weight. Losing 35 pounds in 6 months is absolutely fucking amazing. So I think you're just not being patient. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Make sure your food is on point. You're eliminating as much inflammation as you possibly can, and a lot of, maybe allergenic foods, and just keep doing. As long as you're losing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're losing a pound a week or half a pound a week. This is where people get fucked up. And a lot of you listening or watching, you get fucked up on this stuff. How much are you losing per week? So what is usually lost is how long it takes to lose weight. Anytime you cut carbohydrates, let's say you just cut carbohydrates, right? You do keto, you're going to lose a ton of weight in the first couple of weeks because your body, on a molecular level, water attaches to carbohydrates. So when you cut out carbs, you're going to lose a lot of water weight. You'll lose 10 pounds in a week or 20 pounds in a month or something. You'll lose a lot. And then all of a sudden it's going to slow down quickly. And you're like, oh, it's not working anymore. It's working. You just drop that extra water weight and you flushed it out, you pissed it out, and all this kind of stuff. What has to be understood is that it's healthy to lose 1 to 2 pounds of fat per week. It doesn't mean that's normal. That's not necessarily normal. It's very hard to do. And it doesn't matter. What if you're losing a quarter pound a week? So what? So it takes you it takes you a month to lose a pound of fat. Who cares? After the course of a year, you'll lose 12 pounds. Who cares? Are you gonna die in 6 months? No, you're gonna be alive for 50 more fucking years. So in 2 years, you'll lose 25 pounds. That's amazing. In 3 years, you'll lose 37. Wow, right? So what's the difference between the number on the scale? If it's slow, then it's fucking slow. If it's fast, okay, it's fast. If you lose 2 pounds in 1 month, whoa, I did great. You just have to keep on going. Everyone fucking quits. Everyone stops. Okay, so it's going slow. Well, welcome to progress. It's always fucking slow. And if it's good progress and it's something that you're going to maintain and not bounce back and rebound, then it's going to be slow. Any kind of quick, fast, rapid weight loss usually rebounds, usually a bad thing. So if it's happening really, really fast, you should really temper yourself and temper your excitement because it's either going to slow down and stop or you're at risk of rebounding because you did something too extreme. So patience is the key. Ruth Carter, there's a link here. I can't click on that. Are eggs a fruit or a vegetable? Neither. I hope that's a trolling question because that's really scary if that's a serious question. Something Witty 85. My diet is spot on. Pescatarian out of necessity. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Lack of sleep is at an all-time high. Lifting and cardio are also spot on. How much cortisol increase on average due to lack of sleep? How is it affecting my gains? I'm doing my research and it doesn't look good. It's not good at all. If you're not getting sleep, your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, which is why people store fat around their thighs or on their stomach, arms and things like that. Stress hormones are high. If you're not sleeping properly, that is exactly what you need to focus on. Lack of sleep is extremely detrimental to overall health. Overall health in terms of body weight, in terms of muscle recovery, in terms of cognitive function. Sleep is exceptionally important. If you're not getting enough, you're really stabbing yourself in the back. Drew 7677 Fall 7. What do you think of Butcher Box? Are they a legitimate place to buy grass-fed meat? I've heard good things. I've never ordered from them though. But yeah, just get 100% grass-fed beef. 100%. Make sure it doesn't say grass-fed beef. Make sure it says 100% or grass-fed and grass-finished, because sometimes they feed the cows grass and then in the later part of their life, they give them grains, which can fuck up their omega-3 profile and CLA and all the stuff that's beneficial with 100% grass-fed beef. So make sure it explicitly says 100%. That's one of those legal nutrition loopholes that you could say grass-fed beef, cool. There's usually a reason why. If it says grass-fed beef, but it's not grass-fed and grass-finished, or it's not 100%, that you'll find that like, wow, grass-fed beef is only $5 a pound. It's because it's not 100% grass-fed and it costs them less to make it, blah, 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 and they can profit more off it. So be very careful when it comes to the language on your nutrition packages. J. Hefke 906, why aren't you more of a proponent of fasting? I'm not against fasting. I actually talk about it often. It's very, very natural. This is the first time in human history we've had this type of access to food on a daily basis. Yes. From my research, there are great health benefits to prolonged periods of fasting. Yes, there can be. I want to see what your opinion is on it. I'm not against it. I don't eat a lot during the day. I eat more later in the day. I don't necessarily call what I do intermittent fasting. I just don't necessarily fucking eat all day or on purpose starve myself or purposely fast. But a lot of times I don't eat a lot. I don't eat often throughout the day anymore. I don't eat small meals 6 times a day. And yes, this is the first time. You know, what's more important is that you're eating the right fucking shit. So many people are worried about, oh, should I fast? Should I not eat today? Should I do 2-day fast or a 1-day fast or an 18-6 or a 16-8? Primarily, you should be worried about what the fuck you're putting in your face hole. And then after you've nailed down the best foods for you, then you can worry about your eating habits and fasting. But if you're doing intermittent fasting and then you're eating grains and you're eating garbage food, you know, in many different aspects, then it's not going to fucking help you that much. You might lose some weight, but weight loss and being leaner isn't a metric of, it isn't the only metric of health. You can be lean. You can be lean and not be healthy. So it's more important what you're eating and then whether or not you want to do ketosis, paleo, vegan, intermittent fasting, whatever you want, 1 meal a day, whatever it is, it's number one, what you're eating when you're eating. So worry about that first. Preston Pasqua, you got a couple questions. Being 14, how much hours of sleep should I be getting after workouts? You mean daily? It has nothing to do with workouts. You should be getting, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, you know, the usual. Is it bad to not count how many reps you're doing? No, but the rep range matters. When I'm pushing really hard, I will count for a few reps and forgetting to count. Yeah, well, I mean, you can forget to count, but if you're doing 30 reps, you need to go up in weight if you're trying to build muscle. So I don't count reps. The first episode of the Daily Swole was called Counting Gains. I don't count repetitions, but I know if I'm doing low reps, moderate reps, or high reps. You know, I'm not stupid. I know when I'm fucking doing over 15 repetitions. I just don't necessarily count, okay, I've done 18, I can stop now. That's not how I think. If I'm lifting really heavy, I know if I'm in like a 4 to 8 rep range. I just focus on pushing as hard as I fucking can. So I count. I'm aware, but I don't count. I'm not like 1, 2. I know some people that fucking count out loud. Like, what is it, Sesame Street? Lift the fucking weight. If you're doing too many, go heavier. You don't have to. Your gains are not going to rest on whether you did 5 or 6 reps. Oh, I only did 5. I'm not going to build as much muscle. That's not how it works. Okay. That's why people ask about drop sets and stuff. Well, but drop sets, but that's a lot of reps at the end. Am I going to build muscle? You don't gain or lose muscle or build muscle or get that adaptation in one set. That's just called overall fatigue. But if you're neurally overloading your body with certain variables over the long term, that's the adaptation you're going to have. If you're always doing, you know, the 95% of the time you're doing high repetitions, you'll get more endurance rather than muscle size. If you're doing 3 to 5 reps 95% of the time, you're going to build more muscular strength, not quite as much hypertrophy. If you're doing 6 to 12 repetitions to failure and more volume, over the long term, you're going to build more muscle. So it doesn't mean that you can't go heavy or high rep or drop sets on a micro, but overall, the variables have to be consistent for any of those adaptations. That's why you don't build muscle in one workout. You don't get stronger in one workout, that kind of thing. BBQ Sheep Dip. What the fuck is that? What a name. BBQ Sheep. I think I've mentioned that before. Every time I see it, BBQ Sheep Dip. Sounds good, I suppose. I don't know. BBQ Sheep Dip. What you got there? I try to work out when I'm sore, even if I have to go half speed and half weight, then half that again the next day. What? How are you lifting like wiffle ball bats? I know I shouldn't skip a workout, but at what point should I take a break? How do you know that? I never said you shouldn't skip a workout. You need to do more yoga. You shouldn't be fucking crushing the same muscle when you're sore. If you're chronically sore, you're going to overtrain and you're going to have way too high cortisol. You should be recovering. Do your yoga. Preston Pasquale again. What do you think of bottled water? I don't drink water from bottles. Doesn't the plastic from the bottle get into the water? Yes, as far as I'm aware. That's why I drink out of those. You get clean canteens, or I'll show you right here. I mean, this one's for coffee. This one's, I mean, I have so many Hydro Flasks, and this is not an ad, but this is for my water. This is for my coffee. Yeah, so they're not cheap, but just don't break them. They might be like 30, 40 bucks, but they're awesome. So yeah, stainless steel all the way. Thorin Agrimson, what's up? How long did it take you to grow the legendary beard? Everyone always asks me that. I don't remember. I didn't sit there with a fucking stopwatch. Ready, go, beard. I don't know. I've had it long for a few years, and I trim it. So I don't know. I probably the same time it takes anyone to grow a beard. Just kidding. How long have you been training to be in the shape that you are? I've been training for 19 years. I know patience, dedication, and good food is key. Doesn't mean that it takes 19 years to get to my size, but my goal is also not to get endlessly big. So I've gone through a lot of different phases, but I've been training for 19 years, really consistently as fuck, with like minimal time off. I know patience. I was wondering if at 36 I can turn things around and shift the subcutaneous. Yes. Shift the subcutaneous fat that resides on top of my abs and my armpits. Well, you can't spot reduce fat. I'm struggling because of my body type. Can endomorphs have the body of mesomorphs? That's bullshit. So if you're the endomorph, mesomorph, ectomorph, that doesn't exist. That's a myth. So you can throw it out the fucking window. Yeah, that's just an excuse, and that's just a misnomer. That's a bodybuilding fitness myth. There's no such thing. Of course you have to fucking get rid of all the bad foods. You have to really, most people don't understand how much garbage they actually consume. Most people don't understand how much impact the foods and the decisions, the colognes, the toxins in their environment impact fat storage. This is chronic buildup of all these toxins from everything from your household cleaners, your shampoos, body washes, lotions, what you jerk off with, whatever the fuck it is, all the foods that you're eating, what's sprayed on your foods, what your food ate, whether it's grass-fed or grain-fed, the brake dust, the fucking toxic fallout from the sky, your lack of sleep, blue light, stress, mental, physical. It's all cumulative. It's not like it's any one thing. When you're struggling to lose fat and to change and improve your health, it's not, oh, I'm eating too much bread. That's the answer. That's a major part of it, but it's not the only part of it. So people they focus on their nutrition, they micromanage and they weigh and they measure, but then they're, taking all these fucking pre-workout supplements and all these artificial things, and then they're spraying colognes that their body is, getting fucked up with their endocrine system and epigenetics and all this shit we're finding out. It's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than just food. It's a lot more than just some calorie measuring. What motivates you to work out? Staying alive longer and being healthy. What started it? I've always been active and I've always respected the human body. Those questions get old. What started it? What motivates you to work out? Fucking do it. Being alive and not being a fat fucking immobile piece of shit. That's what motivates me. All right? That's like the end of that's a bumper sticker. What motivates me? To fucking not look like you. Whoever is asking that's not in shape or not taking care of themselves. I don't want to be like you. And when I say you, I'm not necessarily talking to whoever's listening or watching or the person asking the question. I'm talking to 99% of the population. I don't want to be like you. Okay, America, okay, fat nation. I don't want to be like you. I don't want to look like you. I don't want to feel like you. I don't want to talk like you. I don't want to think like you. If my one fucking goal is to not be like 99% of the people on planet Earth. I don't want to be anything like you health-wise, nutrition-wise, personality-wise. I want to be me. I want to take care of my body, and you don't need any other reason than that. If you need another reason than that, what the fuck is going on in your head? You don't want to live better. You don't want to move better. You don't want to take care of the only vessel you fucking have. then have fun being a miserable, sick fuck. And that's most people are. Most people are. I choose to not be like anything like that. Let's see. Jason 75. Culbertson, I've had the damn flu for 3 days. I'm just trying to get over it. I'm wanting to start back on the gym Monday. Is that a reasonable goal, or should I wait a couple extra days? When you're not sick anymore, go back. I would practice yoga, see how you feel. Who cares? Don't worry about 3 days. What if it's a week? What if it's the fucking week? What if you're not better for a week? Who cares? So you're not better for a week. Then you go back after 7 days. What if it's 14 days and go back after? You're not going to die. You're fine. Like, you'll live. You'll come back. You'll be all right. Don't worry if it's 3 or 4 days or 5 days. You're fine. Just patience. Meditate. Do some yoga. Eat some fucking food. Gareth Hutchinson 85. I'm wondering, during a bulk, do I still have to be in a caloric surplus on non-lifting days? Well, it's easier to be because you're not exercising. Keep up the great content. Overall, your body doesn't work on a 24-hour like rhythm, like, oh, I ate this many calories today, and all of a sudden, boom, you punch out and your body's like, hey, I need new calories. It crosses over. So your caloric surplus needs to be like over the course of like several days. So it's not necessarily like, day 1, day 2. As long as overall you're having a caloric surplus, that's what's most important long term. Remington Cook, what are your thoughts on eating eggs for healthy cholesterol and testosterone production? I think it's great. Some people have allergic issues with eggs, but I love pastured eggs, not cage-free, not, hey, our friends or hens like to walk around inside cages. No, you want pastured. You want as fucking free, pastured hens that are doing their own fucking thing, organic eggs as you can. You try, unless you're doing it yourself, you don't know what's going on, so just try to get the best that you can. If you're consuming quality cholesterol is for testosterone production. Your brain needs cholesterol. Anyone that's really restricting cholesterol, your body will go through a toxic process in trying to create cholesterol. So most people that restrict cholesterol, that's why people have heart disease and fucking crazy, because they're not eating cholesterol. That demonization of cholesterol all these years, and then your body creates more, and then it fucks yourself up. So you need cholesterol. So I eat it. A lot of vegans hate to hear that. No, you don't need cholesterol. Yeah. All right. Have fun. Have fun not being able to get your fucking dick up. Have fun with your shrunken brains. Totoro Kidoki, whoa, holy name. Oh, Totoro. I remember that show, that video. My neighbor Totoro. Besides finding a local farmer who's organically feeding and pasturing pigs, where do we find this kind of bacon pork? Google it. There are places online you can order. Are there grocery stores that you visit to get acceptable source of protein? There are a lot of grass-fed, 100% grass-fed beef and products at most supermarkets. Whole Foods, Publix down here in Florida has them. You can also Google the shit out of it. People mention Butcher Box. There's a lot of other companies that do 100% grass-fed beef and heritage pork and things like that. So, yeah. Gougelet, motherfucker. The Dida. Hi, Papa. I was the one talking about starving and the desire to starve yourself. This is hard for me to talk about. I never thought I had an eating disorder, but realized recently that I do fight these types of tendencies. I want to hear this because this is the other day or yesterday, and I'm just confused. All right, let's see if this clarifies things. Today, I was referring to the desire to feel empty or stay hungry. And if anyone else understands this or sympathizes with this or understands what she's saying or has experienced this, drop in the comments. So I'll speak slowly. I realized today that, today I was referring to the desire to feel empty or stay hungry. This is not a loss of appetite, though I experience that frequently. This is a loss of desire to eat even while hungry. This is when food becomes unappealing in every way. I'm not sure what causes these behaviors and was wondering if you ever had a client that experienced this or what you may have to say about this topic. I have never had that. If I'm hungry, I want food. Food doesn't smell unappealing when I'm hungry. Maybe you're smelling something that's not good. I don't know. I have never had that, so I can't even speak on it. That does not make sense to me. A loss of desire to eat even while hungry. Then you're not hungry. Or your body is not getting the right foods, or you're smelling foods that aren't good for you. I don't know exactly the details. But no, I have not had anyone mention that before. That's the first time in my life that I've heard that. I'm sure you're not the only one. But, I think you should be getting your nutrients in. it is a loss of appetite. You're saying this is not a loss of appetite. You're losing your desire to eat. That's a loss of appetite. That's absolutely 100% mental for sure. Someone mentioned. Yeah, it's mental for sure. Could be depression issues. These are from other people that are mentioning this. It's 100% mental. It very easily could be depression issues that you're not realizing you have at the moment. I've experienced. I drink tons of water to flush. Yes, I can relate. I used to be overweight as a kid and starved myself for a while. So I mean, if you used to be overweight too, it's definitely a mental issue. I would agree with that. I go through this every day. It's the fear of getting fat again. It's all psychological. I talk to someone for this. I would seek a therapist, psychologist help. Some people that have an allergy. Yeah. I mean, it definitely sounds mental. It would help to speak with someone. And I'm not in any way trying to seem insensitive about the issue. I just don't have any personal experience. Like when I'm hungry, I want to fucking eat. I want to crush. I never been like, I'm starving. I don't want to eat anymore. It doesn't happen. So it's definitely above the neck. So it's something that you probably should get checked out. But however, the brain, that's what controls your hunger. Your brain is extremely important. And I don't know what you're eating. If you're consuming grains, if you're consuming gluten, that can absolutely cause things like depression. That can absolutely cause low mood. So, there's a lot of foods that can interrupt your proper function of your hormones and your mental function. Blake 12 Porter, favorite cooking oils. It depends. I use beef tallow. You can also use things like avocado oil or MCT oil, coconut oil. You want to be careful with olive oil in a lot of cases because it can burn and you don't want to burn your shit. So those are options. Grass-fed butter works. Roadrunner 51, I have gout. What is my next best choice after grass-fed beef for meat? I'm not a gout expert, so I can't answer that. That would be an easy Google question. Anyone else that has gout can drop in the comments, but I don't have all the answers for that right now. Sorry. CB Fit Girl, I'm changing my workout routine from cardio to weight training and just wanted to know if you do any cardio training at all. I mentioned that earlier, so not really. I mean, I do some, but my yoga and my warm-ups. How much cardio would you suggest? 30 minutes a day, twice a week, no cardio. At all cost, I would focus 100% on you getting into weight training and not worry so much about cardio right now because you've obviously done plenty of it. Weight training and yoga, and do it like 2 or 3 times a week. Don't stress the cardio. Focus all your attention on practicing yoga and weight training, getting proficient with that. Beach Baby 72. So I know what weightlifting is. I know that weightlifting is the best exercise for fat loss. It's one of them. My question is this: is it better to train one muscle group a day or 2 groups a day? For example, should I train chest and arms on the same day or on 2 different days? You're talking about training splits, which has a lot to do with your goals, your experience, and what kind of volume and what your time availability for training is. So that's a good question, but it depends on how many days a week you have to train, what your experience is, how much weight you're doing, how much overload you're doing. For someone that's looking for weight loss in general, I would not do, let's say, just chest on one day. I would group more muscle groups together, maybe do like push pull or upper lower body workout days, especially if you're just getting into it, which sounds like you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking more of a novice question, which is fine. I would stick to more larger muscle groups or more multi-joint movements when you do your strength training, and do either total body 3 days a week or do upper lower, push pull, 4 days a week, for example. Good question. Kelsey Leister, what do you typically eat in a day? Meal ideas. I mentioned that before. I eat my grass-fed beef, avocados, salads, fiber, sweet potatoes, olives, pastured eggs. Meal ideas. Well, I'm not going to go through all these fucking meal ideas right now. Is your coffee plain or do you put stuff in it to make it yummy? I'll have it either black or I blend it bulletproof style with grass-fed butter and MCT oil. I like both. So, but for those of you that are in Swolenormous X, and I have all the recipes, I post recipes and stuff on the Daily Swole Club. I post some stuff up here. I do a lot in the community in Swolenormous X. All the recipes, like all my recipes, the meal plans and stuff like that. That kind of stuff is in Swolenormous X. But those are the types of foods. I talk about them all the time, but grass-fed, pastured beef and pork and pastured eggs. Those are my protein sources. A lot of healthy fats. A lot of healthy fats. How do you respond, Pete Cunningham? How do you respond to someone trying to strike an argument about how veganism is better and more healthy than eating grass-fed beef? I don't waste my time talking to people that like that strike an argument. You ignore them. I have no interest in doing debates and things like that. It's not worth your time. Don't even bother getting into an argument. That's a waste of energy. Let them be a vegan. Let them do veganism. Let them have fun with it. There's a reason why most people that are vegan, majority, do not look healthy. They do not look well, and they don't last. There's a reason why people do veganism for a little bit and can't stick on it, because it's fucking challenging and you're lacking major nutrients and it's not natural. Lindacia, I have an illness keep me from working out and losing weight because I will get injured or suffer great pain if I try to lift too much and too little. I already eat healthy. Have you got any tips how to lose weight when I can't train the same as a normal person? I cannot even begin to answer that question because of how vague you are. I'm sorry to hear that you have an issue, but I can't give you an accurate response when you're being that vague. You will get injured or suffer great pain. I risk injury when I lift. I suffer pain because I'm sore when I lift. You know, you have to focus on your nutrition for sure. Meditation, yoga is great, but doesn't mean just because you have a risk of, whatever you're dealing with, you could have easily at least given me a hint. You can feel free to message me, but I can't really direct an answer unless you're more detailed with that. But nutrition, yoga, fantastic. Tanya Valkanova. So I've already noticed lately that I can handle using more weight, but I'm still kind of afraid not to hurt myself because I have some compensations all over. Should I go up with the weights or continue with the same for a few more months? I'm not in any hurry. I'm doing yoga pretty much every day. Anytime you have compensations or movement impairments or you're moving wrong, then there's going to be an increased risk of something going wrong when you have an overload on your system. So when you're loading up the joints and the joints are not properly aligned, you have things pulling them out of place, you're at a higher risk for injury. Doesn't mean you will get injured, but of course the risk is greater. And there's always a risk, period. Even if you have perfect form and you have great posture, there's always a risk for an injury. So if you can increase the weight, you can go slowly, but there is no rush, absolutely. And you keep on working on your posture and your correctives. We're almost done with the Instagram questions. Oh, I skipped out of it. Hold on. Almost done. Then I'm going to go check on Facebook and see if anyone answered that one, and then I'll discuss anything else. So if you have more questions here, you can comment live. I'll get to a couple in a moment. Katie McGee, glute bridges with shoulders on a bench versus floor. I know there's more range of motion on the bench, but are there benefits to doing on the floor? If you do them on the floor, do them really slow, do them for stabilization. You could do frog bridges, you could do clamshells, you could do different things for the glutes, do single leg stuff. Doing weights on the ground unless you're doing like frog bridges is really hard because you're not getting the full range of motion. So I prefer doing them from a bridge, but there's always a benefit to doing glute activation stuff, no matter whether you're on a bench or a floor. Reeves, M26, I have arthritis in both knees, rendering my running and leg workouts, quote, help. You need to stop running heel to toe, which is probably what you're doing, which is you're going to be jacking up your knees. You also need to be fixing your nutrition, working on glute activation and proper posture and yoga. All those autoimmune issues like arthritis are usually nutritionally related. Let me go on Facebook and see the questions. See what we got here. So if you have questions right now, you can drop it. That was a great question. Great session, everyone. Facebook does not promote my pictures. I got only a couple questions on Facebook. Facebook does not promote pictures well for their algorithm. They're really not getting this to my people. I have so many more followers on Facebook, and just the engagement on Instagram is so much more. Just people just don't see my posts. Tara, ghee versus grass-fed butter, taste, flavor, benefits, go. Why don't you go? Why don't you fucking try it out? My taste. Why don't you try it? See how you like the taste. Ghee is just clarified butter. I mean, you can use either. People like both. If you're very sensitive to lactose and very sensitive to casein, then you might want to go with ghee. But grass-fed butter is excellent. I use it, but you could also use ghee. So why don't you try it? And you tell me how you like it. Jeremy Jackson, what's up, Papa Swole? What would one have to get a coaching call with you? You could send me a message. Not doing personal coaching calls unless you're a Swolenormous X member, which I usually pick individuals to do coaching calls. So you can message me. You're free to email me, team@swolenormous.com. Nathan Oakley, I think I haven't been lifting correctly for 20 years. I've always gone hard and heavy because that's what I assume it's done. Confused. Now I decided to try to go light and properly, making sure my lifts are correct. Would that be the right way to do it before going heavy? Yes. Properly? Yes. Of course. Always. Always properly. Brandon, not sure if you've done a cast on this, but proper resting points, for instance. I've been working out for the past 5 to 6 weeks. Every day I get 6 to 7 hours of sleep. Now I'm noticing that I'm nodding off during meetings and tired as fuck when I get up, but I ignore it. Will this feeling go away? The whole reason I don't want to take a day off and sleep 10 hours because I don't want to lose my motivation. Well, getting proper sleep won't help you lose your motivation. It'll help you fucking recover. And you're probably also not eating right or hydrating or getting consistent or quality sleep. There's a lot of other factors there as well. If you're nodding off, you're probably bored as fuck during your meetings because whatever you're doing for a job isn't inspiring you, which is why you're nodding off in the first place. So what you do for a living is not your passion, which is why you're probably fucking tired and exhausted. However, it's normal to get fatigued, but it could just be what you're eating. It could be certain foods that are causing fatigue. It could be gluten. It could be sugar. It could be a lot of these different aspects that are fatiguing you. So you're not going to lose your motivation. For one thing, motivation is a terrible thing to discuss because you're going to not have motivation more often than you do. You're not going to feel like it, so you have to just fucking do it. And getting quality sleep is not going to crush your desire to work out. It's going to heal you and make you feel amazing so you can keep on doing that. That's when you repair. Sleep is extremely important. Extremely important. A lot of people are mentioning that it's mental and go get it checked out with not feeling hungry or not eating when you're feeling hungry. I agree. You should definitely go speak to someone because that's something to be concerned with. You don't want that to lead into some kind of major eating disorder when you're not eating when you should be eating. That's not good. Let's see. Your feelings are classic signs of an eating disorder. These are from just comments. Please see a therapist specializing in eating disorders. Also remember what Papa Swolio says. It's okay to eat without worrying or counting as long as you're eating the right foods. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a concern. You don't want to be not eating when you're hungry. Like if you're hungry but you're not eating, you know, at least you're being vocal about it. At least you're here. I mean, and don't get upset. You know, you're aware. It's very important. The first step is being aware that you're having an issue. You're catching it early. But it's very important to go speak with someone that's a professional in this aspect because you don't want that to translate into you're not eating and avoiding food for whatever other reason. And then you start lacking nutrients and you start going down that spiral. So make sure you get that checked out. Let's see. I have brought this up, but unfortunately my therapist does not specialize in eating disorders. I'm working on healing some PTSD and this could be a result or even self-punishment. Well, you need to find someone who does specialize in that, but also, like I said before, there's also a lot of great research and material out there. Kayla, why don't you do this? I have a great book to read is Grain Brain. It discusses the impact of grains and gluten on the brain that can relate to things like PTSD. There's also a lot of different therapies that are out there that can help with those types of, mental traumas. So it's very important that you speak with someone. If your therapist does not specialize in that, then you should find someone who does because, of course, it's important to find the root cause, but you might need other opinions. And if it's affecting your food, it's going to affect everything. If you're not eating, you're not going to be recovering. Your brain is not going to be in a good position to move forward. And it could be everything from not eating enough healthy fats, not eating enough things like, cholesterol foods and things of that nature that are really good for the brain, that help the brain function and thrive. So those are some things you should check into. Feel free to message me. I can repeat what I said. So let's see. Any other questions? See here. Do you do yoga? Yes. Anyone that's interested in yoga, join Swolenormous X and you can get access to the full yoga studio, the yoga that I do, the yoga that all the Swolenormous X members do. You can definitely go Google on YouTube, but then you're just subject to whatever you find on YouTube. And as you know, the internet has a lot of just random shit. So check that out. Instagram is going to end in a second. Hold on. I got to start that up again. We did an hour, so just going to go live again. Any other questions? Let's see. Look at all of us answering. We get it. You're not alone. For sure. For sure, you're not alone. Absolutely not alone. You're welcome. What's the temperature so I can be jelly with my 7 inches of snow? Let's see what Alexa says. Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 80 degrees.
80 degrees.
Expect a low of 65 degrees.
Ooh, it's going to be a low of 65 tonight, though. Yeesh. Be careful. It's cold as fuck tonight. Oh my God. I'm going to have to get my sweatshirt out. 65 tonight. Fucking plummeting. Global warming is real. Shit. 65. Nah, it's 80 degrees. So I'm going to crush some yoga on the Pizzorch. Topless, nips out. You don't have to be jelly. All right, let me say this in closing, everyone. If you're jealous, if you look at like my snaps or my stories on Instagram and everything, and you're jealous of the weather, then fucking move. Fucking move. Why do you think I live here? Because I moved. I was born in New York City. I grew up in Connecticut. My family's still up in Connecticut. I went to school in Pennsylvania. I know cold. It's cold as fuck out there. Tons of snow. No, it's not North Dakota or Canada, but it's fucking cold. I know what it's like to scrape fucking ice off I know what it's like to turn on your car, go back inside, shower, eat breakfast, and then go out. Yes, I'm aware. I know what it's like to unlock your car and the door doesn't open and you have to like fucking pull on it and pour hot water so it can open. Yes, I know that. That's why when I graduated college, like 15 years, I fucking left. I said, you know what? Peace out. Enough of this shit. If I want to visit, I'll visit. I moved. So if you're complaining and you're jealous, then move. Fucking move. Move. Right? If you're happy with it, then stay. But otherwise, fucking move. I love my fucked up New York weather. Ugh. Fuck that shit. The wet, sleety, shitty snow and that dirty ass wet slush. Fuck all of that. I live in Florida. 25, Ohio. What am I still doing in Ohio? Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. 80 degrees? Yeah. I don't know. Everyone acts like they're so stuck in where they live. We have the internet. You can do whatever you're doing from anywhere. You can create your own fucking job. Create your own career. You could do it online, but do it. You could do it from anywhere in the world. Do it. Move. You're not stuck anywhere. Fucking move. Vegas has nice hot weather too. Yeah, but I have the ocean. I'm not stuck in a fucking desert. However, Florida's going to be underwater. Ugh. Yeah, move. Yeah, it's okay. Move. The humidity is killer there. Yeah, then go to South California. Like, it doesn't, like, you can move anywhere you want. There's no rule that you can't move there. You're in the United States. You can go any state. You can just go. There's no rule that you can't move somewhere. Just move. You can. You can do it. You can move. If you don't want, the humidity in the summer sucks. It's hot as shit. But that's why they create air conditioning. You can get air conditioning. That's what that's for. Right now, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's going to get hot as fucking balls. It's going to get hot as fucking balls. It's going to be a problem down here because my AC's been all fucked up. So, you know, I'm planning on moving. I'm going to stay in Florida, but I'm planning on moving. So hopefully soon. We'll see. Thank you. What's sarcasm? Telling people to fucking move? That's not sarcastic. I do have sarcasm. You just can't tell what's sarcastic and what's not. That's the beauty of it. I can be really mean but sound sarcastic. But I mean it. You know what I'm saying? Sarcastically. Florida's the best. Fort Walton Beach. Where's that? Where's Fort Walton Beach? Has been my vacay spot for 6 years straight. I'm from South Texas. Anything over 60 is like snowing to me. You mean under 60? Yeah, I mean, it gets, look, when you're used to hot weather, when you're used to the humidity, when you're used to just sweating balls, 70 degrees is cool. You know, 65, you'll go outside and I'll wear a long sleeve shirt or a jacket. It's just relative. And when I've been down here since 2005, that's when I graduated. I always came down for vacation because my grandparents lived down here. And then I decided to move. I was like, well, I never wanted to leave. I always want to go on vacation to Florida. So when I graduate, let me at least get stuck down there for a little bit because I saw everyone graduating and they kind of grow up and they move back to where they grew up and they end up living there and starting a job and getting stuck in. So I decided to uproot, move there and move here and then, you know, quote, get stuck. And look, I kind of got stuck. I've been down here for a while, but at least I've been around nice weather. I haven't had to deal with snow and all that bullshit. So do you do volume or heavy lifting to build arm size? Both. Both. Takes a lot of time. All right, fam, that's it for today. Wonderful Q&A. Great shit. Great shit. Any other questions, feel free to message me. Feel free to drop comments. We will do this again next Sunday. So we're going to, every week we do a Sunday Funday Q&A. So I will be talking about it. Just make sure that you tune in and make sure that you have your notifications on. So when you see that post and you see the post on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever I do it, you will see it and you can drop your comments and your questions and stuff like that. So I'll see everyone tomorrow for episode 983 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. If you want to join Swolenormous X and hook into the yoga studio today, highly, highly, highly recommend it. You can go check it out, swolenormousx.com, for the blog, for the podcast links, and also for the special offers to join the Swolenormous X family. All the nutrition, the recipes, full yoga studio, the Mobility Swollen 7 series, 90-day dash program, workout archive, the program vault, fucking private community, everything. It's the absolute tits. And it's on special offer right now. So why wait? swolenormousx.com. But I will see everyone tomorrow, regardless, for 983. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose, ya boy, Papa Swolio. Out.